As you, of course, know, much of the American Republican Party has now had as a default view of election integrity. If we won, there was integrity. But if we lost, there was fraud and it was rigged. This is the premise of the big lie, as it's called, which emanated from Donald Trump's loss to Joe Biden back in November of 2020, now more than a year ago. Last week, before the election in which Republican Glenn Youngkin defeated Democrat Terry McAuliffe, you already had some Republicans claiming fraud. Here's an example I played for you last week. This was Virginia Republican State Senator Amanda Chase saying the Democrats are already committing voter fraud and she knows how.
Look, I'm all about fighting for the truth, too. And sometimes, unfortunately, we can't always rely on the media. I wanted to go there. I wanted to feel it. I wanted to see it. A picture's worth 1,000 words. I know how Democrats are cheating. And that information has been given to the Younkin campaign.
Well, they're going to try to do it in Fairfax County.
Absolutely.
You know,
I'm already getting reports today that people are going to vote, and they have never done a mail-in ballot, ever. And yet when they went to cast their ballot, they were told, no, we've already mailed you a mail-in ballot. And so we're already looking into that.
That's why we told everybody in Virginia, vote early, so that couldn't happen. The earlier you voted, they couldn't do it. Now they're starting to do it.
There were other examples, but you get the idea. But then last week, Glenn Youngkin won the election. All talk of fraud ceased. None of them are talking about fraud anymore. Remember that there's this invisible, sort of like a flow chart. Did the Republican win? Yes. Then there was no fraud. That's essentially the way it works. Well, it turns out there was attempted fraud. Listen to this. NBC News is reporting that Glenn Youngkin's own 17-year-old son twice tried to vote last Tuesday on Election Day, even though you can't vote when you're 17 years old. In the U.S., you have to be 18 to vote. Now, he was not successful in his attempt to vote. News outlets are not naming him because he's a minor and he hasn't been charged with a crime. But by saying Glenn Youngkin's 17-year-old son, we know who it is. He showed up to vote and election workers figured out he's not eligible to vote. He's not registered to vote. He's 17 and he was not allowed to vote. The Fairfax County Office of Elections is investigating the incident. The Office of Elections said in a statement, this morning, the general registrar was made aware of concerns that a 17-year-old male attempted on 2 occasions to vote on Election Day. The young man presented ID, but was ineligible to be registered due to his age and was not permitted to vote. The man was given a registration form and encouraged to register in the future. When he's 18 is what that means. Now, the funniest plot twist would be that he was trying to register to vote for Terry McAuliffe, not his own dad. We have no reason to think that that was the case. In all seriousness, what's sort of funny, but also not really funny, is that it doesn't actually seem like he committed a crime because of how the law is written, even though there are people in other states who are in prison for accidentally voting when not eligible. Fairfax County Registrar Scott Konopasik said, it's not clear any crime was really committed because the Virginia Criminal Code makes it clear if you use fraudulent information to vote, that's against the law. But simply trying to vote and being determined ineligible, that's not clearly addressed in the Virginia Code. And ultimately, the quote is, the man did not vote. He made no false statements. He did not disrupt voting. It appears as though no actual crime was committed. Now, that being said, remember in Texas, Crystal Mason, who was previously sentenced to 5 years in prison for making a mistaken vote that was not counted despite being ineligible. That's Texas. Texas upheld that sentence. We have a very different situation here in Virginia. But the people most loudly talking about the fraud seem to disproportionately be the ones attempting to commit it. So just a little minor follow-up story there from the Glenn Youngkin election in Virginia. We're going to take a quick break, and we have much more coming up right after this. One of our sponsors is Magic Spoon breakfast cereal, sweet and tasty like the cereals I loved as a kid, but without the sugar or the carbs. Every serving of Magic Spoon has 0 grams of sugar, only 4 net carbs, 140 calories, and packed with 13 grams of protein. Perfect if you're doing keto, perfect if you're doing low carb, great if you're just trying to reduce your excess sugar intake. And because it's packed with protein, it's great before or after a workout. Magic Spoon flavors include cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, and cinnamon. They're bringing back cookies and cream. They're bringing back maple waffle. You can build your own variety box and try them all. Magic Spoon is so confident in the product, if you don't love it as much as I do, they will refund your money, no questions asked. Go to magicspoon.com/Pacman. The link is underneath this video, and you'll get $5 off when you use the promo code Pacman at checkout.